All of the SEC teams are in the Ken Palm Top 100. There's a look at last year's Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year, Mike White, third season. Boy, were they significant a year ago, 27-9 in the Elite Eight. And here is who he starts. Chiozo, we talked about a little bit earlier, the senior from Memphis. And Kulichov has been terrific, leading him in scoring. He plays in the middle. Guards big here as well. Burnett and Tyree has stepped in. Burnett didn't play the other night in their loss at Auburn, suffering from the flu. He'll play this afternoon. With a look at Andy Kennedy. He is the dean of the Southeastern Conference coaches, and in his 12th season here at Ole Miss.
And dressing like he means business. He's got the shoes, the outfit. Boy, the stud of Oxford. Look at a little pan down there. Ooh, you couldn't afford those, Kevin.
On officials this afternoon, Doug Shows, the longest tenured SEC official. He has officiated 4 Final Fours. Patrick Evans, 5 NCAA tournaments. And John Hampton, in his 21st season as an official, played baseball at Kentucky in the late 80s. He was a pitcher and a shortstop. We'll see if he still has the moves here all these years later.
I know he doesn't have a fastball anymore.
Yeah. Well, Bill, we talked as we were in our conversation moments ago on our open about the SEC being stronger. All the teams in the top 100.
No question, which means as they play the rest of this season, people can improve their lot. Certainly Mississippi, in that case right now, playing Florida.
Here we go.
A lot of good ball movement, spacing, little dribble drive, find people. And Kulichov, as you mentioned, this is where he's tough, that mid-post up. And they may eventually have to double him, but he does fine.
With a long shot outside from Keystone, and he has been playing very well the last couple games. Knocks in a triple right there.
Solid kind of a kid, can make those threes. They get help up front. They are a tough out, as we saw early in the year, particularly against Gonzaga, and a great run against Duke as well.
Rebels are 2 up and 2 down in the SEC. A drive across the lane will not go in by Tyree. Here come the Gators. They have won 6 in a row, 7 of 8, and Chiozo kind of has his finger on the pulse of the team. With Stone trying to feed, knocked away, good deflection. The other way, bringing Tyree.
He loves to go wire to wire, this kid. Typical Jersey guy. He thinks he's on a turnpike, straight line to that tin.
The Rebels 9-7, like we said, 2-2. They are 8-3 at home. They've had some non-conference difficulties here at home. Long shot outside, and that is a 3, and Bruce Stevens puts it in. He's now only 5 of 20, Bill, shooting the 3 this season.
But he's lately he's starting to knock them down. The last couple of games he's had a couple, 3 the other night against Auburn.
12 points in 12 minutes in that game for Stevens.
Pretty
wide open. Boy, what a nice entry pass, and they get it in to Kevarius Hayes.
Firma, no, vicious. I'm working on that all day long. He got lost on the help, strung him out. No cover in the back. But
who am I to tell you how to say names?
Right. The big fella.
And the one with the red hair. Here comes Crawford. He'll put up a 17-footer, and that is a 2.
That's the guy, Kevin.
Markel Crawford.
He's got to play well, I think. He's a prolific scorer, great range. They need points from him to complement the others.
These 2 guards are going to go at it all afternoon long. And Stone again.
Step back.
Yeah, look at that. Draws the foul out of the defense in there of Bruce Stevens. So Stevens will pick up his first.
Pretty smart play. He initiated the contact, too. Lucky to get that particular call. But look at this string and nothing in the back to support. And it's just a mishap defensively. Doubling the ball left. Are you show and recover or string it out? Backside's got to be alert as well.
So the Gators beat Mississippi State on Wednesday, 71-54. Had a 27-7 run in that second half, which puts them at 12-4 on the road in the SEC, Bill. 2-0, 4-0 overall in the Southeastern Conference. And they're one of 2 unbeaten SEC teams in conference play, along with Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers.
Now, this guy really plays with a lot of confidence, no question about it. As the bigs improve, and the threes, particularly by Stone, got a number of them against Texas A&M. 3 of them come to mind, so they can drag bigs away from the rim.
The Rebels have lost 2 of 3, and they've won 5 of 3, so they're looking to try to find some kind of consistency in their season with the rebound pulled down by Kevarius Hayes.
He keeps it alive.
He does, doesn't he?
Look at his feel, everybody attracted. Bees to honey.
Stone and Pritchard. Picked up inside by Stevens. The other way comes Brian Tyree from Somerset, New Jersey.
And Burnett really hasn't had an opportunity for a good look.
Trying to go inside, and Olenichek couldn't get it. So knocked away. The clock here at 17:11. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to your favorite team. Watch highlights, get breaking news, scores, and more. Download the CBS Sports app today. They bring in Jalen Hudson. He is the leading scorer for the Gators. Stone will take a breather.
And he is a talented kid, too. A lot of experience, but down the road, he proved in his year out.
That's a good one. DeAndre Burnett, the leading scorer and the leading assist man, and that is a triple. He's the kid who didn't play the night.
Right, with the flu. Right there, they missed the game with Auburn. They had a 10-point lead at the half of that.
They sure did, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Second half, they fell apart.
Yeah. And that's sometimes shot selection and not running down rebounds. I think second possessions are big in this game. A little too much dribble right now.
Goes up. And Hayes and Chioza. Shot clock at 3. Hit 3. No. As they fight for it inside. Stevens was going up and climbing the ladder against Hayes. That's a foul on Hayes.
Just really good, outstanding. The ability to use a bump right here. You just see how tardy, no show, no tag along the baseline. And just a heads-up play. They get him going. He can light it up.
Terrence Davis will check in for the Rebels. He'll take the place of Owen Echek. Here comes Gorjak Gak in for Florida.
Big, strong, tough kid. I think the rotation up front is big for them this year. Now, Mike White, and they all play well up front. They are a tough out, as we've seen. He's really confident that stroke now. That's their power player, Stevens.
Putting that up with the miss. Chioza the other way from Memphis.
Empty side.
That will not drop. Hudson fired it away. Offensive board. Back again. It is Allen who comes in the game. A terrific backcourt tear. And then they got Kayvon Allen, who is just terrific. Tyree the other way.
Not afraid.
Launching on the fly. Not at all.
Not on the Bears.
Yeah.
Chuck and duck.
Allen, Chioza, wide open. Hudson with the 3. No. The leading scorer and the 6th leading scorer in the Southeastern Conference can't get it to go.
No shot clock violations today, I don't think.
Nope. But I like the pace. It's fun, huh?
Sure, you're comfortable. You watch these this speed all week long, don't you, when you do the NBA games?
Yeah, sometimes they're in a certain gear, but this group is starting good today. Important game for Ole Miss. Wheeling in the paint. Stevens again, free to fire.
I'll tell you, though, I like that. Get him inside. Good-looking shot. Didn't knock it down.
Jalen Hudson, the faking into Burnett. Got it to go. Pretty play by Jalen Hudson, the junior from Richmond, Virginia.
This kid's one of those guys in the country. He can hang and finish. Use that left as well.
He averages 16 a game. Here's Davis and Tyree. 24 against Auburn, as Bill was talking about.
They're using the floor nicely here. Now turn and face. Good cut. Little scissor play.
Markel Crawford. Back on top they go with the drive. Burnett 5 to fire. Fouled as he was taking it up and trying to run. 1-point lead for Florida. Jalen Hudson, one of the best in the conference. Terrific score and shows it right there for Florida. SEC first place Florida is on top by 1. Well, we learned last night that Keith Jackson had passed, the voice of college football and legendary figure in broadcasting, into a young broadcaster in Green Bay, Wisconsin growing up, an idol beyond measure. Keith Jackson was 89 years of age, and there will be no one like him again in this business. I remember I was telling you, Bill, and our producer, Craig Silver, before the game, that when I was about 12, 13 years old, I used to tape his games off of television on a cassette recorder and fall asleep every night listening to Keith Jackson's voice.
How about that?
Thinking that, some guys idolize players. Him and John Facenda, I thought, had the distinctive voices
of the
NFL.
My God. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And that's how Jackson was for college football.
Well, I have never met him, but you felt comfortable. Like he was always in your living room, any big event, any, Olympics.
So true.
Yeah, just fantastic career, great contributor to our games.
Think who we've lost in the last handful of weeks here. The great Dick Enberg and Keith Jackson.
And here, interesting, the impact that they've had on all our lives.
Yes.
Right now, Ole Miss, they like to switch the D. There's the 1-3-1. They go diagonal. That corner's going to be open, but they back into a 2-3.
Hudson making a move and finds some room. Bowman takes it in. Pretty play. He's got a quick 4 off the bench.
Great footwork, the ability to finish the deal in traffic. And you see that a lot more now. Guys driving against zones. They get in that crack.
Here's Crawford. And now Schuler, a freshman, who they really like, and one of the top recruits in the conference, as they dig it out right there.
Not a good play by Crawford. Too deep without a decision.
Peru puts up a shot. Michael Peru from Raleigh, North Carolina, another freshman in this conference. So the Ole Miss Rebels, for a second consecutive game, facing a team unbeaten in conference play.
Now, the one thing about this Gator club is their ability to stretch the D. People cut, get in the proper position. They're not afraid to take you off the bounce. A little kiss here. How about this delivery of this kid? You know, I'm a big Mike White fan, but not when he stands in front of me all game.
Right.
Right?
Mike White played basketball here.
Yeah.
Not in this building. This is a brand new building. It's his second year. Olenichek trying to go across the lane, and he was calling for the travel. It's a turnover right there for the Rebels.
He was actually trying to do the right thing on a kick, but big guys dribbling get coaches nervous. Bill 3/4 court D.
Kayvon Allen. He started all but one game. As he takes it in, the junior from Little Rock. He was the high school player of the year 2 consecutive years in that state. It's Stone trying to find some space, and Crawford will draw the foul.
And that was the cut.
Mike White played his college ball at Ole Miss. He was on that 99 team that won the first NCAA tournament game in school history. White here dribbles out the clock against Villanova for the 2-point win. Finished his career with 370 assists, which is 7th most in Revs history.
Amazing his career as a coach as well. Of course, the family, well, involved in college sports.
Yep. And, you know, Mike was an assistant under current coach Andy Kennedy for 5 of his 7 years as an assistant here. Yeah.
And he loves this place, too. I had a chance to chat with him a little. And on the way down here, a fellow said to me, when's the last time you were here? I said, maybe 9 years ago.
Right.
I found out it was 19 years ago, and he was playing. Like,
how about that? On the fly, move shot here by Terrence Davis. Picked up by Stone. Ole Miss has not hit from the field in over 4 minutes. They're 0-4.
Look how they put the pressure on you. You got to be set. And this is the area Mike feels they've gotten better in their half court. And a lot of teams are forcing them just a little bit later in the shot clock.
Allen, what a pass inside to Hudson, but making it fly right there, Kayvon Allen.
And that's what's dangerous about this basketball team. They just don't rely on one person. Great ball movement, position, cutting.
With a long shot here, DeAndre Burnett, who is the transfer from Miami, and picked up the other way.
Look at the numbers.
Inside Okaru with a good feed from Hudson. Yeah, boy, they can just get out of the blocks and explode the other way.
Second possessions are really important, but Tough Jacks leads this Gator team to the open floor. Just a really good understanding of their movement and motion and cutting. Use that ball screen, a little back cut, step and go. The ability to finish. Pika real smiley someplace, but too many blue shirts. Finishing big time. 7-0 run.
We're back in Oxford, Mississippi, Monday on CBS. Your favorite comedy lineup is back and all new, beginning with Kevin Can Wait, Man with a Plan, Superior Donuts, and 9 JKL. That's Monday at 8, 7 Central, only on CBS with a look at Andy Kennedy. He's from Louisville, Mississippi. He was a 2-time All-State high school player. They were state champs one of his years. He was the high school player of the year in the state of Mississippi, a Parade All-America, recruited by Jim Valvano. And he played 1 year for Jim as a freshman in Raleigh.
Yeah, I can see where he got a sense of humor there, hanging around Jimmy. Of course, this is what they got to do. Nice block to counter it. Get to the rim and then either finish or find somebody.
Keck was the one who knocked it away. Okaru tries to take it in, the freshman, and he is fouled. Speaking of Raleigh, that's where he's from. The foul goes on Firminovic, and that is his first with 12:05 to play.
And Okaru, like many of their players, pushed the ball, getting back to. I got to know him when he was the interim coach of Cincinnati.
Andy, yes.
Bob Huggins, in the midst of all the controversy at that point in time, and what he did to keep those kids afloat and that program afloat was magnificent. Then coming down here, he's a keeper. He's well respected by everybody in the profession. A class guy. And of course, the league is really stepping up big time now.
One of the things I talked about with Andy Kennedy is that he did not have his contract extended after last season, which has gotten the press here pretty riled up about, will he be a long-term answer here?
Right. I certainly hope so, knowing how much he enjoys it here, this program. It's all about getting kids that consistently get better. And now they have to really basically step up to this level now. This conference has gotten deeper and better. We've alluded to that. He knows that.
Ole Miss, 20 wins or more, 9 of 11 seasons. One of 5 coaches to do that in this conference, including Billy Donovan, Tubby Smith, Nolan Richardson, and Joe B. Hall of Kentucky. So he's been around a long time. He's had staying power, but like you said, the landscape of this conference now, Billy, is different. It is better, highly elevated.
And he's confident they can keep up with that level of play. And some of these kids are of that level, but I just think the inside has to get better.
Hudson picked up his first. And here come the Gators, looking for their 8th 5-0 start in SE play in program history. Nice feet.
Look how they pick you apart.
Oh, my goodness. Chiozo. And he misses that shot.
Great look, though. The switching defenses, they're very alert and attuned to what's going on out there.
Davis will put up a long shot with a nice rebound inside. Jalen Hudson.
That's a number 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that hurts. Just look how they pick you apart. And pass up a good shot for what they feel is a better shot. Can't beat it when you have a step-in uncontested 3 at this level. Generally, it's a knockdown.
Yak is going to leave. They also take out Hudson, as Bill just said, with those 2 fouls. They bring back in Keith Stone, the sophomore from Deerfield Beach, Florida. And here is Schuler.
And Stevens on the floor now. You had that one foul. You mentioned that Auburn game. You got in foul problems. They need him on the floor. His presence and physicality essential.
Tyree tried to penetrate, sure was. And out of bounds it goes. There's a look at Jalen Hudson, leading scorer, as we talked about. Virginia Tech transfer, had 27 starts for the Hokies over 2 years.
You mentioned Tyree, related to Tyree, the Giant.
Yeah, David Tyree.
They get the great catch on the helmet.
That's exactly right.
Patriots broke New England's heart, but New York area pretty happy.
They were very happy with it. Thrown by Eli Manning, who was the quarterback here at Ole Miss.
His father was a good player.
Yeah, his dad was pretty good, and his brother was pretty good too. A missed shot outside by Crawford. Good rebound inside by the Rebels, and then tapped away right there. Kulichov was the one who got it. Nice defense at the other end by the Rebs.
Love the effort.
Here comes Tyree the other way.
Now that's twice, though, they didn't get the loose basketball. You got to get that if you're Ole Miss.
Florida's led by as many as 7. Up now by 5.
Look at that defense, though. Taking away the dribble path, quick feet. You got to move. Give you Stevens room.
Stevens, a couple guys around him, and then reaching in. It looked like right there a foul goes on Kivari. It's Hayes.
2 as well, and that's dangerous. This is a great by Kuleshov, and the effort to get back involved just sensational. How about that? I think that was Tyree, the little guy out there.
So the foul goes on Hayes, who picks up his second. Here is Bruce Stevens at the free throw line. He's coming off of a junior college run at Jones County Junior College here in Mississippi. The 6th-rated junior college player in the country that chose to play here, and he's at the line right now for Coach Andy Kennedy.
And one of the reasons I think they changed the defense is protect him, too. A lot of zone, maybe not the individual one-on-one situations. And here's a 3-quarter court. And watch how many shapes this becomes. 1-2-1-1. This team really passed the ball great, don't they?
Chioza will throw down low. And
nice cut.
Yeah, it sure was. Dak tries to go in. Grajak Dak from Sydney, Australia.
Great read by him. Hands are a little bit questionable. I'm watching some tape. Offensive rebounds. Good size, though. This is a banged-up Florida team, though. They've got good players on the bench.
Tyree with the 2. With the rebound hauled down right there for a 5th time. Pulled down by Igor Kulichov from Russia.
Beaching so many ways. Look at this with the dribble.
Knocked it away, but picked up by the Rebs. And here comes Markel Crawford. Finds a lane, takes it in, tries to cut it to go.
Boy,
Pretty play.
that took a lot of stretch and a lot of hang time.
Yes, it did.
But when you shoot it like he can blow by.
Rebels are 9-7. 8 of the 9 wins have come at home. They've struggled on the road. 2-2 in the SEC, which puts them in the upper half of the 14-team conference.
A little 3-2 look right now. The middle open. Oh, the walk was tempting.
3-point Gator lead. Watch this right here. Pretty play.
Allen was a little good. This is just a great crossover. Look at this hang. And that takes a lot of strength to deliver that left hand as well.
His first year in the Ole Miss program, the senior from Memphis, who was a transfer from the University of Memphis, graduate transfer. Last year, he was second leading scorer for the Tigers of Memphis.
It's tough getting kids out of Memphis.
It is, Mike. Whenever I see that, my eyes kind of widen a little bit. Go, how'd you get him out of that program?
What's wrong here?
Yeah. Right. 9 to play here in the first half from snowy Oxford, Mississippi.
You sound like there was a blizzard out there. I mean, a couple of flakes.
Well, Archie Manning came by a minute ago. Here's a long shot. Put up and short. Yeah, Davis.
Yeah, had to. Look at this look.
Chiozza got it inside, and Gack was running ahead. Gack is playing a lot of minutes, and he's had some knee issues, and that limits his practice time and thus limits his time during games.
I just mentioned the hands, though. He's got to come up with that.
Yeah.
Look at this look. I mean, that's just gorgeous. You got yourself a layup. Gack attack. Squeeze that, baby.
Gack attack. I love it. 8.5 to play in the half. Ole Miss is 4 of 16 from the field. Hyman is in for the first time.
Check and do some offensive rebounding, maybe a little post up. He's got a hook.
Davis gets it inside, and there they find Hyman.
Why not?
Why not is right.
Somebody in there. Take the pressure off that deep jack.
8-2 run by Ole Miss. Long shot goes down the pike right that time. Kulichov will put it up and in. He is one of the top 10 3-point shooters in the Southeastern Conference.
And on a platter by Chiozza. Doesn't waste any time. Great delivery.
Crawford again holds the ball. Allen is on him defensively.
There's a shape up. Throw that hook in there. Gotta knock it down.
Gack rips it off. Here comes Chiozza.
This is a mismatch there with the big guy on him.
Will not go. That time, Kulichov, who is number 10 in scoring in the Southeastern Conference. Watch that skitter to the side. DeAndre Burnett from Miami, Florida, and the transfer from Miami. Drives, beams, check, puts it up and in.
Pretty good hands with the drag and vision of Burnett. Exceptional. Hanging around here.
Not bad, and a very important win. They're looking for a signature win.
This is a jumpstart game for them.
A very important win this indeed would be for this Ole Miss program against a team like Florida. Kulichov, Chiozza. 7 to play. Stone, who came out and scored a quick 5 for the Gators this afternoon. Allen across the lane.
Look how they use the floor there.
Look at the passing.
A little overdone at this point, but
over and back.
Pretty good. Some point you got to take one of those.
Yes. Put it up. Bill Raftery would. He would have taken the shot. check with an off. Well, there we go. That's a look at our game so far. 44% shooting for the Florida Gators, tied for first place with Auburn. Actually, they're a little bit above because they've got one more win, but both unbeaten atop the Southeastern Conference. Well, one of the great Rebels of all time is here. Archie Manning came by, and when you say, I go, Archie, what about all the snow here in Oxford? He says, you know, if there's snow in Oxford, Mississippi, it's cold all over the country, and he's right.
What a gentleman.
Yep. And Charlie Connerly, how about him? Huh?
I loved it. I was a young guy, found the Giants. Talk about toughness.
Yes.
He personified that.
A.J. Brown, a wide receiver, gets the best player in the state trophy, named after the terrific Connerly.
How about that?
And that's Connerly's widow, by the way, right there, too, which is even more wonderful when you think about the impact he's made in the state school. And the runner right there, Davis.
Great look for Davis.
It was. Stone with the rebound.
I go to a place they dispense lemonade in New York, and Charlie and the Giants used to hang out there years ago. Made the
lemonade, huh?
Yeah, PJ was the beginning of that store. But
did you ever get some lemonade there, Bill?
Yeah, very well done.
For you all the time.
I leave the sugar out. Oh, nice cover.
Good pick that time by Hyman.
Hyman Posted up earlier. Good defensive trip then.
On top, this is Devontae Shuler. He was one of the top shooting guards signed in the conference. He's from the state of South Carolina.
You can see the confidence they play with, though. And they are not afraid to take that open jumper.
Chiozza. Stone. Like right there.
Over the top, not a good one.
A lot of good ball movement for the Gators this afternoon.
Yeah, both clubs have really looked for one another, but the ability to stretch the floor, a little slip to the tin. Chiozza usually the catalyst. Evan Allen there, that little delivery. Nice baseline cut to set that thing up by Hudson.
Gat picked up his first for head coach Mike White. Here come the Rebels. Guards, Bill. Guards account for over 72% of Ole Miss's scoring.
Now, they don't have that real punch post up. They get into Stevens this time.
That changes things right there. Stevens puts it up and in.
And I like right now what Andy's doing. The one foul on Stevens, get him in and out a little bit. They can't play without him, I don't think, at this point. He's their power broker.
Came down funny, and he was defended by Devontae Shuler. We're just talking about him, who leads the conference in steals. Shuler picks up his first.
Yeah, averaging 2 a game. And just a solid understanding of how to protect the basketball. Chiozza does it so well. Defense a little tardy on that.
So the Gators are number 3 in SEC scoring, and Ole Miss is right in the middle. They're number 7. The problem is the Ole Miss defense, which is number 13 of 14 teams.
There's old 3-2. Look how they move.
Whoa!
Inside out.
That shot outside by Chiozza.
He just bites you. What do you need? Steps up, provides the lift for this club.
Ole Miss, last 8 points have come in the lane, but nothing in the last 10 in that category.
A little ball screen gets them started. Nice cover in the back. Yeah. Look at the left-handed pass. He's got them all.
Allen, 3, no. And around Gat, the rebound was hauled in that time by Markel Crawford, his third.
They're trying to push it and speed up and get organized before the defense is solid.
Crawford. And a nice rebound is hauled out of there by Hyman. Burnett inside. Had it stripped by Chiozza. And it's Hyman. And then finally Stevens got it back. Had the elbow in the face of Gat, who hits the deck.
Oh, what an aggressive play. You got to be ready to compete.
Dak is second.
I think he got something for free. Forget about it, right? And this one, the orthodontist is going to be, let's hope he is okay, though. I mean, you're right. Just a really fair play came down on him. And they're going to have to take him out, I think.
He did. Look at Gak, who is from Australia. He had initially signed with Oklahoma State, and they had the coaching change there, so he was free to take a look at other schools, and chose the program of Mike White in Gainesville for Florida. Yeah, inadvertent as he came down.
Exactly. This is that concussion protocol, making sure he's alert, feeling okay.
His uncle is Longar. Remember?
Oh, I do, from Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Yes,
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. This is.
I thought you stuttered there for a second.
No, I do, but not on that particular sentence. So last season, Ole Miss was 22-14. There were 2 wins over 500 in the SEC. They were predicted to finish 10th this season in the 14-team SEC. Right now, they're in the middle. And the one thing that Andy has done, he's got Europeans on this roster. He's got kids from Lithuania on Ole Miss, and Poland and Latvia, Ukraine. The only Power 5 school, Bill, with at least 4 kids from Europe.
Well, you have to go and get kids.
You sure do.
To survive. And of course, he would facetiously at the beginning of the year when they introduced him as the 10th team. He said, I didn't realize we're the 10th team in the country. They said, no, we're predicting you for the 10th team in the SEC.
Right.
He does have a great little sense of humor.
Dante Bassett will take the place of the injured Gak, and they're going to look at him. And Bassett, who comes in as a freshman from Oakland, California. So here is Stevens at the stripe. He's a 73% free throw shooter. He's made 29 of his last 35 free throws over the last 7 games.
And there's your European imports, and why not? Their contribution to American basketball.
Stevens again at the stripe.
I got Carlos. I wasn't going any further.
That was it.
Johnny Most was famous for that. You know, the big lefty.
Right, yeah. He didn't have a rush out of the guy with the red hair, and that's how he did the game.
I just love the movement of Florida. Keep the defense busy. There's the show and a little better job exiting the back.
Allen snuck inside the defense of Stevens, and then Bassett got a hand on it. It is off the Gators and out of bounds. Florida leads by 2. They've led by 7. 4 lead changes from Oxford on CBS. And on a little note, Trent Green, who does analysis for CBS NFL football, and I will be in Minnesota for the Vikings and the Saints. There's a look at Dak, who is going to the locker room. Concussion protocol, we think. They'll update that as soon as we get word. He'll get word, but he is out. He had played a lot of minutes. He's going to scoop it home.
How about that?
Bruce Stevens with a terrific move. He's got 10 for the Rebels.
Great call out of the timeout.
Yes.
Go to your power. Let them finish the deal.
During the 6-game Gator winning streak, defense has been the key, but not that time. They got it to go. Stone, a congested lane, inside. Yes, it was. Tyree comes up with it.
They're doing a nice shot. Now, both teams really can dribble, drive, and shoot threes, but Florida gets more available. You got to move and complement the dribble drive if you're Ole Miss.
5th tie. Schuler gets it off to Stevens. It was.
Not good, not good. He's the last one down now.
Chioza. And they find Bassett inside. He's one taking Gak's place, and he hits the net guard.
You can just see Florida really not finishing plays at that end. Not typical of them, but this is just excellent. Turn, face, be a challenge. How about that drop step? Adroitly done by the big fella, but so many chances as they push the ball and not finishing the deal. Boy, they are paying for rebounding, aren't they? Right here and there.
Marcanvas Hyman is up there, the senior from Memphis. He went to Whitehaven High School. He is, in the history of Ole Miss basketball, the 10th all-time leading shot blocker. And he started in that Auburn game Tuesday. He's at the line right now. Came off the bench here this afternoon. The Gators are down by a point, and this will equal the biggest lead that Andy Kennedy and the Rebels have had this afternoon. Like we said as we began the broadcast, looking for a signature win. This would be a huge one on the resume.
Big time, and I think if they're going to do it, they're going to have to get it inside. I mean, one of those guys get a little hook game. Stevens, stay close to the basket. Let the little guys dribble, drive, penetrate, and find.
Florida 8th ranked in preseason AP, top 10 the first month. They have not been ranked since mid-December. And on the fly, Chioza.
He almost came up with it, though. So alert. Anything free, it's certainly for him.
Brian Tyree. They're high 24 the other night against Auburn. In the corner, long three.
Numbers.
Will not go. Schuler the other way. And a beautiful three on the fly. Kolochov puts it up in, the senior from Russia.
Welcome to today's basketball.
That's it, right?
3-on-1.
I know it.
Lock and load. The other two. I love you, but get to the rim.
For a higher percentage shot. I guess when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Yeah, no question about it.
Kolochov had 23 on Wednesday in Mississippi State. Nice play inside, off balance and floating sideways. Crawford's got 6.
And that's because he can shoot it. Stone can get going a little bit. I think he's got to make Stevens guard him.
He was earlier.
Yeah.
He was scoring well early. Kolochov played at Rice, where it was a 1,000-point score. Inside, the rebound hauled in by Hyman, his 3rd.
That was an international delivery. Wasn't it off the wrong foot?
Yes.
He's got an array of shots. Look at this kid move those legs.
Tyree, he tore an ACL heading into his freshman season, but came back at the end of his freshman season to play. And there on the fly, puts it up on a short ranger and picked up by Chioza.
He ices the ball screen and then ends up with the rebound.
Okaru.
They've had good looks and coming up empty.
All right, coming up in the AT&T at the half, Adam Seth and Coach Lapis will have first half analysis, and they'll also update you on today's action around college basketball, including 7 top 25 teams in action coming up on the AT&T at the half.
How about this now? You go to the rim, you go to the rim, and you can go to heck. I'm taking the 3. Oh. Hey, if you make it, Good shot.
Right, I know it. And he's in his senior year. What does he care, right? I'm going to fire anyway.
Well, he's running out of school.
Yeah, that's right. He's been to 2. Rice and Arizona State. Nice play inside again. Carved out. Crawford has got 2 in a row. 3 of his last 4 and 8 points for the game.
He's important to this team. He's going to be a positive influence on that offensive end.
Ole Miss has the biggest lead this afternoon here. Kulichov, Karu.
Got it. Ooh, a little short. Look at the balance.
Pushing. The issue is DeAndre Burnett. Here comes Florida the other way. They kind of got mucked it up a little bit now. Back and forth we go.
You got to know the clock.
Yeah,
you got to know the game.
Right.
And that's a good control. And you can see Andy talking right away. You got to pay attention. Well, the ability to put it on the deck, complete the deal, and a Memphis salad.
Your pizza now comes with a side of pizza, but not just any pizza, a Papa John's pizza. Right now, when you buy any pizza at regular menu price, you get 1 free. It's buy 1 pizza, get 1 free.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Order now at papajohns.com.
Andy Kennedy's grabbed the lead here after being down a little bit earlier by 7. You know, they've been over 500 in the SEC, Bill, 3 consecutive seasons. And it's the first time that Kennedy and this program have been 3 straight years over 500 since 1936 to 1939. I mean, that's like over 80 years ago.
They have 1,290 wins and 1,289 losses as a program.
Oh,
that's utterly amazing.
Wow.
I did the first one.
Oh, did you really? Yeah. Who were you doing that with, by the way?
But how about not a heady play? That's what's hurt them in some of these overtime losses. Burnett wild at the end gives Florida a chance to shot and probably offensive rebound.
Kulichov puts up a long shot. Allen comes up with it. Here his shot is good.
What a killer.
Puts it in right before the buzzer.
Wow.
Terrific shot. Von Allen knocks it down and ties the game at halftime at 31. What a shot.
And Kevin, talk about mistakes, though. They shot it early enough to get an offensive rebound, a little nylon, but you pay for your sins. Amen, amen. Value the ball, know the clock. That doesn't happen.
All right. Florida is led by as many as 7. Ole Miss by as many as 3. Here we're tied at the half. Let's go to New York in our CBS studios. Here is Adam Zucker. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Sonic. This is how you Sonic. AT&T. And by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Here goes baby Abigail. She's on top with those wonderful. Oh, look at her move, and she accelerates and takes it for the win. Oh, what a run. She had crawling for the prize. A bunch of orange-looking balls.
She's disqualified. The mother reached over the finish line.
That's what happened
it's
on
unbelievable.
They got to tell us about the rules.
Did you ever do horse racing?
No, I'd like to.
You give it a shot. It'd be great. That was fun, wasn't it?
What did you think of our racehorse first half?
Well, right now, I think somebody's got to shoot the ball a little bit better. Both clubs, I think, struggling. My concern for Ole Miss is Florida's had great looks. If they start making them, they're going to have some difficulty. So you've got to really toughen up on the defensive end if you're Ole Miss.
Which takes us to the Capital One statistics, and we're tied, as you can see, at 31. We had in that first half 6 ties and 7 lead changes.
And I like this for Ole Miss because they're predominantly that deep jacking team, and yet either with the dribble or post-up, they've had some opportunities, but this is befuddling. This club does such a great job. Look at this step and go. I mean, the defense really doesn't see ball in man, and just a very catchable bounce pass and big-time finish. And this guy, just an outstanding offensive player. He really lends to the attack when he can mix it up with the dribble drive. We know he can make that outside shot, but the floater, a little guys, the light, and there a little rat-tat-tat kiss. They need more of that from Crawford.
Now we're going to figure out how Ole Miss works here in the second half. They were outscored by Auburn in the second half on Tuesday by 25. They're down 4 in rebounding in this game. They're last in the SEC in rebound margin. So needing a signature win, the Rebels tied with conference unbeaten Florida. Stone the move, the drive, and he can't get it to go, and it looked like he was shoved by Stevens as he went to the iron, and a foul on Stevens for a second time. By the way, Gack, who took an elbow, an inadvertent one by Stevens, down. He went to the locker room. He will not return with a concussion.
Boy, they have had some serious problems with their big guys.
Haven't they?
Oh.
Igbunu, who is out, but he's close to being back, they tell us.
Chase Johnson as well. I mean, this is a team that when they get healthy, and everybody raving. Now, we know what he can do because we've seen him, big, strong, tough kid around the rim. But they're raving about Chase Johnson, what he can do. So he is really a valuable commodity as the season progresses.
Chase Johnson, a freshman from Ripley, West Virginia. And the guy who really has benefited was Kivarius Hayes.
There's 3 now.
Stevens.
All of a sudden.
Yep, 3. You're right.
All of a sudden, he's got the 2 quickies. A little Pratt fall is right. There's the injured guys, and that's got to be as tough on them as it is the coaches in terms of rotations and how you want to play.
Well, the potential return of Igbunu, they don't have the physical presence inside without him. They lack that depth, but when he does come back,
it opens it up a little bit.
Yes, sure does.
Well, Lenichak on the floor now. Did some damage on occasion.
I got a great story about Lenichak. I want to get it in before we sign off.
Does everything do with the Packers?
It does. It's got a real. I mean, like it's exactly the same name, and we'll hit that in a second. Here comes Chioza.
Well, what do you know about the Packers?
Allen with a shot from outside, a 3. No, look at the great move inside by Stone.
You can't have that happen. You can't give them a second possession. This is a prolific scoring team. You held them under control.
Stone has been outstanding the last 2 games, 3 straight games with double figures, 9 this afternoon here in Oxford.
Burnett really can't get free as they get an open, nice, big-time rebound. Hyman.
Davis again. This time he drives inside, and he is fouled as he took it in, and Kivarius Hayes.
I like he picks it up, but you can't get chances like this at the other end. Just chasing down long rebounds, and nobody checks or sticks his guy, and you got to have a little prevention at that end of the floor, but that is too easy.
So at the free throw line is Terrence Davis. Slow to start in the Southeastern Conference portion of the schedule. He has really been in a slump. He's the leading rebounder, but he cannot find his points. And this is a guy who, is one of those players that they need. I mean, Andy Kennedy needs him to score.
13-10 against Auburn, 13 points to Andrea, and he can really fill it up a little bit.
But he began horribly in that game, but he came up a little bit, got those points.
And a little double high, yo-yo, 1 low, 1 high. Look at the way they dispense the ball. He's clever. Chioza down low.
Hayes backing Indo, and he checked, and the deuce. Nice play.
Oh, he was patient. Wasn't he, the big fella?
He's making a go from Live Oak, Florida. Swanee High School. Rebels looking for a signature win, coming in at 2-2 in conference play. A player was down. Hayes was down.
Olenichak,
yes, Olenichak
with a discard, but this is just really good use of your pivot foot. Look at the head and shoulder. No dandruff either on that particular move.
Uneven season so far for Ole Miss. Overall, 9-7. With the drive by Allen, and outside for Stone. The fake, the drive, the feed, Allen, and they go outside. Kulichov. Olenichak is going to fight for it in the call. Tie-up with Stone.
I'll tell you, there's another case, maybe one pass too many. I mean, I love the ball movement, the unselfish play. They normally knock those babies down.
Renavicius will check in. Olenichak will take a seat on the bench. Quickly, the story about him. When Vince Lombardi was lured away from the New York Giants, they go into Green Bay, Wisconsin, and he's introduced to the president of the Green Bay Packers, Dominic Olenichak, which is this kid's name. Now, there's no connection except for that, but kind of an interesting little story.
Sure, nice tidbit.
Well, to the letter, their names are the same. And here we go with a little more than 2 minutes gone here in the second half. Long shot will not drop for Davis, who continues to struggle.
And I think that may have been Hayes. I like the story, and I love Vince Lombardi. Started at St. Cecilia,
Sure did,
Englewood.
yes.
At Army, of course, and then later with the Giants.
Good read is that David Morancis, When Pride Mattered, book, one of the great sports books. And Morancis wrote it and did a look, and there's extensive look at Lombardi in New York and through the high schools in Army. You know,
the Broadway show. I don't know if you saw that. I saw that. A lot of fun.
You see a lot of shows.
Well, I used to see more. You know, now I have to pay for the tickets.
Schuler's on top.
There you go. Get him on the board a little bit. He's too good. Gets 14 points a game.
He's 7 tonight, this afternoon.
Yeah, really not getting opportunities because of excellent Florida defense. Usually Chiosa on him.
Travel and a turnover. Burnett moments ago inside.
How about that? The ability to put it on the deck. We've seen that because the closeouts have been there under control. Not able to get the threes.
Here comes Schuler.
Little weave.
The drive by Crawford finds some room.
About that, they open the middle.
Marcel Crawford.
If you're a guard on either one of these teams, you've got plenty of room to roam.
Yes.
And decimate the interior D.
Allen's on top, a first team All-SEC. There's a shot outside, which will not go from Stone.
And there's another one of those. I mean, they're right on it.
Yep. And Burnett once again.
Hey, start.
Ruminovich just gives off to Crawford, who was bumped a little bit as he was driving outside the lane. And it looked like Kulichov may have picked up the foul, perhaps. Hudson will have to see.
Andy's got his guys figuring this out, though. Get that foot in the lane somehow, control it, and then finish the deal. On a regular basis, they've been able to get there.
Okoro will check in for Florida. So the Rebels come in having lost 2 of 3. Lost to number 22 Auburn on Tuesday after they had that lead at halftime. And the Gators come in, they've won 6 consecutive games, 7 of 8. And nice dive inside by DeAndre Burnett, whose brother is NFL running back with the Vikings, former Florida State running back, Dalvin Cook.
I'll tell you, that was a real slippage with the timeout on an inbounds play. Chiosa got caught on the wrong side. All of a sudden, you get a guy like Burnett out of the gate feeling good. You can just see the high side. You pay for it. Pretty play. Ole Miss right there.
Back in Oxford, snowy Oxford, Mississippi. Monday in an all-new late show. Stevens got John Lithgow and Senator Chuck Schumer. Then plus later this week, John Bon Jovi and Ricky Gervais. And all-new Colbert this week on CBS. The guards, Gervais suit. I call him. There's another player with that, but it's Gervais. Anyway, let's talk about the guards here.
Burnett, all of a sudden, as we get through that promo, they need them to do some damage, particularly with the bounce, because Florida's done a great job guarding the three-point line. Only 2 for 12 for Ole Miss, so Burnett wisely all of a sudden up to 9 points by using that dribble.
Burnett leads him in scoring, but he's also 4th in assists in the SEC. One of the top all-time free throw shooters. And there's a nice floater off the fly made by Kayvon Allen.
2-3 look. You gamble, sell yourself out against a talented kid. The old-time floater.
Gators have beaten Ole Miss 3 consecutive times. Navajas on top. Burnett and Crawford.
Size.
Size advantage of the
Good read again, Andy.
You're right. Yep.
I'll tell you, Andy's got him in the right spots. A matter of them making plays.
Okoro. 12-4 record for the Gators.
You want to stay on the floor on the pump fake.
Okoro with a 3. Got it. He is a freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, a 4-star recruit. And a top 10 player in the state, and he knocks it in.
Tell you, nice overload, though. Indecision defensively because of that.
Crawford finds an open lane at the very end. The door closed. There's Stone grabbing it out. Quick outlet to Allen. He's on the move outside, and another long shot on the fly.
The trail guy is the most dangerous because they'll push, collapse the D, and then find.
Kulichov has got 3 threes. And 3 of 6 this afternoon. 9 for the game. Kulichov averages about 15 a game. points. Crawford bumping.
Good job keeping the pivot foot. Ooh, very lucky to get to the line here.
Boy, the defense didn't give much to. He's like in a straight jacket inside.
Exactly.
Florida up by 4. Igor Kulichov, top 10 score, SEC, and buries one from outside for the Gators.
Mike White's guy does a great job. They push the basketball. You see the defense, and now all of a sudden, just lingering. Ready, aim, drill it with confidence. That is an NBA stroke. I think you're going to be seeing him playing internationally someplace, Kev.
Kulichov, yeah, he is one of those catch and shoot players who honed his game, as you can see, overseas. And he began at Arizona State, then went to Rice, where he scored 1,000 points and grabbed over 500 rebounds. He had 34 in the opener. He had 23 in the win Wednesday over Mississippi State. And Billy comes into this afternoon 10th in scoring in the conference, 11th in rebounding, 10th in three-point shooting, and number 1 in free throws. I mean, he's filling every category.
He knows how to play. He complements the ability of the others on the perimeter, and that there's a little toughness in him too. He like that post-up game that they like to run, mid-post. You can find people. Again, they spread the floor, creating so much havoc for your defensive coverage.
Kulichov remains. They got that dynamic tandem in the backcourt with Allen and Gioza. Stone is up front, and we're about 6 minutes into the second half. Important game for the Rebels, and knocked away. Tyree just about saved the ball. Important game for the Rebels. If they win, it would be a signature win on their resume, which they are trying to build, obviously, for the tournament.
And Tyree, guy that's really got to play a good second half, I think, for this team. He didn't really get to the rim at all. Pretty good denial there.
Gioza.
Tough match for Steve.
Oh, and he's aggressive with that left-hand layup.
Clear it out. That's one of those, I got my guy. He blew by. What a clever little maneuver at the rim with the left.
He's got 5. He averages 13 a game.
Well, he really plays within himself. He's not in a hurry. And yet he's quick.
Here's Schuler to Crawford.
A little late, and then he get 3.
Winds going to Stevens. Now they finally do, and Stone tries to shove him out with the push. He gets the deuce.
He can do some damage at that rim. They got to get back, though.
Stevens with 12.
Nice show by Stevens.
Allen got the fake, got the box, did not get the call. Kulichov, Yemen, Stone, 3!
That's an assist for him. Kulichov, just great effort, great read. Of course, the advantage to the offensive team when the shot doesn't get some iron.
5-point lead is the second biggest that Florida has had. Biggest in the second half. Nice move by Schuler to get 3. Kulichov has the rebound, like we told you before. Ranked in the conference in rebounding. Look at his and Okoro hits another corner triple. He's knocked down 2 in the second half.
They're relentless. The push, you don't recognize, you don't get over and cover. And right now, pretty good timeout. You're getting a little away from them all because of the ability to hustle, make big-time plays, and just terrific read here as he kicks it out. Look at this. And he knows it's good. He's going back. He's not counting the house from Russia with love.
Hey, we're going to do the Asian thing, honey barbecue and hot.
It's a great time to be a fan when you got 21 sauces and seasonings to put on your wings. Don't take it for granted because in medieval days, your wing flavors were limited.
Hot flavor, plain flavor.
Hot, please.
Get 21 sauces and seasonings at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Have a look at Andy Kennedy. His top 4 scorers in the team, all guards. Burnett, Davis, Tyree, and Crawford. He needs them to kind of shift gears because now they find themselves down by their largest amount this afternoon.
And don't forget, earlier in the 9-point lead on Clemson, Florida had 17 on Duke. So just got to keep playing if you're Ole Miss.
Ford has made 6 of their last 7.
How about this?
Crawford with a big shot. They needed that in the worst way. He is a 28% three-point shooter. He's got 17.
And this is the end. They've really had some problems, whether it's the fast break, initial offense, or individual ability, and they get the little nickel dimer. Chiosa puts pressure with that bounce.
Well, talking about Florida, they are unranked. They were ranked early in the season, but they've not been ranked since mid-December. Mike White's team. They won at number 11, Texas A&M, back in early January. Won at Newark against 17th ranked Cincinnati. Beat number 17 Gonzaga in 2 overtimes. Part of the 7 ranked wins they've had under Mike White. Now in his 3rd year with the Gators, and the reigning SEC Coach of the Year.
Everybody's a threat with that ball, though. Whether it's the drive,
isn't that true? That's a good comment.
Look at this kid.
Chiosa. Bodies on the floor. Here come the other way. The Rebels. Davis cross court.
What hustle to get back.
Burnett triple.
That's the kind of effort you need. Take advantage of numbers. Good ball movement.
DeAndre Burnett has led this team in scoring 2 consecutive years, and a big 3 right there. Give him 12.
Andy's got to bottle his comments of that last time out.
Right.
They have really.
Whatever I said, it has worked. Allen. Chiosa. Tyree there to defend. Out to Stone. Open to fire. With the rebound collected inside by Davis and a chance to take a lead. Down moments ago by 8.
You're playing with a little spirit right now.
You're right.
A little definition in their attack as well. Nice slip.
For the tie.
And Burnett playing within himself. A little drag, and not the coverage you're accustomed to with Florida in the back.
Hyman puts it up and through. 8-0 run by Ole Miss. And the Gators weather it. It's Stone chiseling. And Davis with the shove. Ole Miss on the run with a run. Hitting shots from outside, then shoving it inside. Caught there by Hyman. CBS Sports College Basketball coverage is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. Axe. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Ole Miss greats. It began with John Newman back in the early 70s. John Stroud, Elston Turner, and most recently Marshall Henderson led Ole Miss to an SEC tournament win back in 2013. Let's take a look at the AT&T Fast Analysis.
And it's all about the threes. Obviously the hustle, Golichov, the kick out, the ability to make open shots. They haven't shot it as well as we're accustomed to, but you give them an opportunity. Counter Burnett. They were struggling. Good timeout by Andy. Got them organized. And by the way, we didn't mention Joe Harvell from Gosnell, Arkansas.
Yes.
He led the SEC in scoring. Shaq.
Good name from the past.
He was a junior. He beat Shaq out, averaging 25 points a game, but that's how far back. I was fortunate enough to come in the old building.
Yeah. They've been here for 2 years, and they love this. And there was a lot of thought that if you make a state-of-the-art building, which they have, they built this thing from the ground up, it would help in a couple ways. It's not taken effect yet, but they are very confident. This is one of those buildings, and part of it is like Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, home of the Jayhawks, with the glass up in the end zone.
And we mentioned like the old garden where people seem closer
Don't
up
they?
top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very vertical too.
They got away with it.
Yeah. Crawford had a wide open shot. Can't get it to go. Here's Jalen Hudson, one of the top 6 scorers in the conference. And Chiosa.
He had some foul problems. That secondary break of Florida is the danger spot. You got to get back and get out and tag.
Halfway through the second half. 3, Chiosa, no. Picked up by Stone, stripped of it inside by Davis. Here come the Rebels are running, then Tyree the other way.
They've taken Tyree's little drive, wire to wire away. Davis.
Golichov has the rebound. Terrence Davis couldn't get that one to go. Golichov is...
Don't get back.
But look at Stone with the hesitation. And he finally, what a nice knock away by Davis. Out of position, but he's going to pick up the foul.
I would love to chart the different passes that Chiosa makes with heat. Look at this now. Bang! Wow. Two-handed chest pass. Put a hole in your chest. You don't have your hands ready. All about winning this kid.
Well, the Gators have 3 of the SEC's top 4 free throw shooters. Kolochov, Allen, and Chiozza. But at the free throw line right now is Keith Stone, and he's 72% for the Florida Gators. Undefeated in conference play. Auburn up there too. Mike White has his sights set on a second consecutive 5-0 start like a season ago.
They've had one of those years come out of the gate strong and struggle a little.
Yes, you sure have.
You know, Florida State and Loyola, teams that normally, you know, they, not that they would necessarily win easily, but hang tough on. You know, looks like they're back a little bit to where they were.
Lost by 3 to Duke. Here's a long shot. And there's no foul called, even though Davis hit the deck. But he gets the triple to go. He's got 6.
He better get back up. He's got Chiozza to guard.
Yes, he does. And that guy's a blur. Kolochov. And now Jalen Hudson. He comes off the bench. He hits a 3. What a shot by Hudson.
Step back, Jack.
Number 6 three-point shooter in the conference.
Wow. Would he get those puppies organized? A little 3-2 zone, a little counter. And this will force you to, well, let's see if Tyree can make that one. Well, that's what it's going to do, force you to make that one if you don't flash the post or you don't dribble drive, but the ability to make shots because you become available. And that's what happened in the first half. I didn't think Ole Miss did that. But here, just look at this step back, get them organized, make them pay big time with a knockdown.
Stone picks up his second personal foul. In this game, we've got a team in Ole Miss, Bill, that takes the most three-point shots in the SEC. And we've got a team in Florida that leads the SEC in three-point shots made at over 9 a game. So the three-point shot continues to be a factor in this one.
These are the kind of points that really help your outside shooting. Now look at this kid play. Nice tip.
And the tip right there. Stevens,
I think it was.
Bruce Stevens tips it up and in. And he's got 14.
They've done a nice job with him because of the foul problems, inserting him, getting the most they can. Baseline rubs.
What a drive. He puts it out.
Out of bounds.
Hudson steps on the line. First season as a Gator. Jalen Hudson. He started 27 games over the last couple of years for Virginia Tech.
He's a really talented kid.
I don't know if he stepped out of bounds.
It didn't look.
That was a great replay by our crew.
Where we live, he didn't pay his toll.
Yeah, that's right. Burnett. His 3. Puts in another triple.
They make shots like that. They'll get you out of the zone quickly.
15 for him. Kolochov. Boy, that 3-ball in college basketball, the great neutralizer. He'll drive inside and get it to go.
Now, Chiozza told him, you run the point.
Yeah.
He said he was looking for Chiozza. No, you take him. How about that ability to go left, finish the deal with a little kiss?
11 ties, 11 lead changes. Florida's led by 8. Ole Miss is led by 3. 7.5 to play. With a move here, Tyree. Double. Threw it away. Turnover. Kolochov. The trailers into 2. Nice defense. Here come the Rebels the other way. Running hard. Burnett. The fake. The drive knocked away inside by Hayes.
Kolochov was hurt in the backcourt too. Limping to the timeout. And he went in and excellent defense at that end.
Not good.
Let's hope he's okay though.
Hudson picked up his 4th. Kolochov is injured. Here go the Gators trying to smother him with a nice knockaway right there. Kavarius Harris. For the Rebels, Crawford has 17. Stone's got 15 for the Gators, but look at the points in the paint for Ole Miss.
And of course, Crawford, big time he plays like this. He really lifts this team, its spirits and its ability. And check this one out. You were on top of this earlier. Well, what's that?
He's on a line, but that line's okay. Yeah, he's on that hash mark.
For last I heard, that line's okay.
Yeah.
And now this is unfortunately where Kolochov got hurt as he came down, and this is a certain toughness about this. He's back. His gait seems okay at the other end, but he limped to that bench.
So he's out there right now, and you can see still just a little bit ginger probably on that. Here's DeAndre Burnett at the free throw line for the Rebels.
Kolochov's been all over the world. There's the toughness about him, I think.
Yeah, there is.
Now, you do a lot of NBA games. He's one of these kids, I think, that's going to make money, but internationally. But he knows how to play.
He does know how to play.
Because he's got range on the jump shot, so you can never say never in the NBA either.
But you know what this is, Bill? That's like the Fratellos and the Hubie Browns going overseas every summer, teaching the game of basketball, and that's the result. You get kids like this.
And Jack Ramsey was
and
one of
Jack
the originators.
He sure was.
Don Casey did it as well.
Yeah, Don Casey. Great names, great coaches, terrific basketball mind.
I went over to Ireland. I brought back a case of Guinness.
Well, you made your contribution there. Stone is trying to work.
Oh, the violation they're calling on him. Where he straddles.
In his space. In his space. You're right, Bill.
Don't ever violate my space.
I'm not going to, because that's what'll happen. I like the way they've legislated this.
Yeah.
There's no room for movement. And finding that out was Tyree.
Yeah. Interesting. They're going to take another look at it. Yeah, I like the call. Don't you?
Well, you swing those elbows around, Bill. But again, you got to give the guy maneuverability.
But in the old days, last year, the year before, they call a foul. You know, it could have been a flagrant even.
And you can see the rules for the flagrant 1 and 2. And we'll watch it again. Now, those elbows are pretty high, but then again, he's
within his territory there.
Yeah.
Or violates the territory of the other. Now they're looking to see if the excessive contact. I think they made the call already. And he's leaning
right in him.
Yeah, he's leaning forward, Tyree, with that chest. Well, Jersey guys are very chesty.
They are.
Pushy. Willing to take advantage. This seems simple, though. They're ready.
I just think, you know what, they want to make sure that everything. And Doug Shows is here, and he's leading this group.
Yeah,
he's in the 4 Final Fours. I mean, he's as decorated an official as there is, and wants to make sure they're all on the same page. And I'd rather have him get it right.
Right.
The guys that know the rule and are looking at it again.
He's going to look again. I think they got it right.
Gators at 12-4, unbeaten in the Southeastern Conference so far, are looking to go to 5-0. The Rebels are 2 up and 2 down in conference play. They've won 8 of the 9 games at home. They're looking for a win that will make a dent and impress the committee, which we're months away. I get it, but these are the games they will look at.
Absolutely. And, you know, Ole Miss, a little jump start. Let's see what they're going to come up with.
The explanation to Andy Kennedy, who is 6 wins away, by the way, from tying the great Nolan Richardson for number 17 all-time, winning as coach in the SEC.
You know, it's interesting. Yesterday, I talked about Nolan Richardson.
Did you?
With Andy.
Did you?
And the reason we talked about it, it's very, you know, in other words, if you're coaching a team, you run all these intricate sets and all, people say, boy, that he really knows what he's doing. Yeah. But to give guys freedom to take advantage of their ability, you know, there's a trust. Right. And that's what Nolan did, and that's what we're seeing in the current generation.
And no flagrant, by the way, and that's what kids want. Right. They call it a cylinder play. That's the way the officials look at it. But that, I think that's a very clear definition too, and explains just to the pedestrian fan what the issue is. You cannot be in that cylinder.
Right.
So that puts Stone at the line.
I'm sure the fans didn't really get the grasp of it.
No. So Stone will put in the first 72% free throw shooter. Outstanding last couple games, as we've talked about. And now Stone, who has gone 8 of 11 and with 16 points, and not just number 17 right there, has been in double figures 4 consecutive games. He averages 7 a game.
Now this kid really can play. I've seen him drive it and jam. You know, threes. We mentioned that with A&M. Step-in shots.
It's great to watch in the course of a college season the confidence build. Stevens got some space and puts it in.
And good officiating too. That was a little pratfall. But they're doing good things out of the timeout. Get the ball right in the center there. The big guy loads up and finishes.
Stevens with 16. He averages 9.
Look at his
nice pass in stride to the rack and a foul.
Boy, what a setup.
What a pass. You're right, Bill. My goodness.
The eye contact, the feel for the game, and also, when you think of it, Mike White, he's got the lift, everybody on the right side, nobody there to do the job. But this load up, we mentioned the ability to score in the lane, that really complements their outside shot. And the JC kid unloads big time.
This matches his career high of 18 points. He can break it right here, and does. So he has come up big. He has tied the game for a 12th time. We're approaching 6 to go. It's a terrific game.
It has been fun.
In the middle of this Southeastern Conference season.
You know how important it is. Well, both teams don't. Oh, but Ole Miss, this is a huge. Really gets them ignited in the right direction. And of course, Florida keeps it on a roll. There you go. Why not?
Ole Miss 41% shooting, and now they're starting to put them in. 18 for Steven.
Nice, modest post up too.
Yes.
Not low on the block where you're going to get the double.
Pace is slowing just a bit here.
A little bit. Because you make shots, you got your defense all set. This kid is tough right here. Step back.
Big rebound by Terrence Davis. He is the leading rebounder, and he's collected 4. He averages 6.
They got what they wanted, though.
Ole Miss has taken control of the throw here with a drive and a score. What a reverse! Terrence Davis plies his way for 2.
And what a great setup to run along the baseline, get the bump, the closeout a little bit late. Bang!
You can feel momentum switching here, and the score reflects it. 5 to play. Biggest lead for the Rebels. And Allen puts up a long one. Stone flies out of the rafters. Doubled inside and fouled. Tyree may have swept it away. Tyree has picked up the foul.
How about that? A stone cold piece of activity. And this is a little turn and face, and then the ability we mentioned, you said the game slowed down, you get down the other end and get yourself settled, but he ran baseline, uses the rim to ward off a little bit. Good start, effort, and finish.
He was, you're right, and he had been hitting them too. Andy Kennedy's been waiting for these veteran guards to step up and take over the team. Tyree, of course, has been doing that of late. Burnett and Davis plotted to do that. We thought at the beginning of the season they would be the guys. Nonetheless, they are stepping up this afternoon.
So, of course, Crawford with a great performance thus far.
Yep.
But Stone, double-digit free throws. I mean, he has been active.
Bill, this is college basketball. Not a lot of size and spacing wings and everything. Penetrators. This is what we're seeing now. The game evolving into. Here's Tyree on top for Crawford.
It's all Golden State's fault.
Yeah, that's right.
Spread them out. Bang the 3 and put it on the deck. Crawford. Not a good look.
Looking inside. And, look at him. As they play a little twister on the floor, tied up.
They're going to foul. They got a foul.
And they did.
They got a foul over the top. Wow. I think he just go jump ball.
The foul is going to go on Stone for a 3rd time. 25.
It's not a good look. I just don't know about this one. Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Give the jump ball. Everybody's happy. Because that possession hour, which we can't see where we're located here, goes the other way.
What are you saying?
I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be here.
Stevens at the line. He has gone 3 of 4. So he has gone 31 of his last 38 free throws in about 8 games. And they've got a solid shooter up there right now. And that's what they need.
A lot of options when you come down now for the Gators, too. I think Chioza, this is sort of his time of the game where he makes the decision whether it's on his own or get others involved.
Ole Miss, by the way, in this half, from the field, 14 of 22, over 60% shooting. That has helped them get back in and now have this big lead of the game for them, 5, with under 5 to go. Chioza. He's defended by Burnett. That is a tough one.
Going the other way there.
Could not make it.
You can't get your body organized in the right position to finish it.
Hudson is 4 of 7 now, their leading scorer.
And plus the D is on that side of you generally.
Really taking a hold of the pace now. Here is DeAndre Burnett.
And he's looking to make the call on the sideline. Ball screen, pop. Look at these hands and look at the play. Chioza with the 5. Stone.
And then Davis going up.
And they're going to say it actually hit Stone.
Play by Davis.
Well, that's what turns your season around. When you get that kind of effort, Kevin, the house gets behind you, all of a sudden, everybody's looking pretty. Look at this look, though. This is one of those deals, quicker, stronger, but oh my goodness. Incredible effort, huh?
Terrence Davis with a terrific defensive play for the Rebels. Here at Ole Miss, we've had a 13-point turnaround in the last 9 minutes. 8-point lead for Florida with just under 13 to play. 5-point lead right now, the biggest of the game for the Rebels.
Talking about big plays, Chiosa ends up with a steal here and a terrific lob look. And unfortunately, at the other end, Keith Stone decides to get a 2 pivot foot stop. You go right to the rim as fast as you can. Take an old-fashioned layup. That doesn't happen. It ends up falling off him and goes the other way. Just a little mistake, and you pay dearly.
We're bundled up here with all the snow outside. A lot in terms of a Mississippian's view of the weather. We woke up to snow this morning in Oxford. It is cold with a lot of wind. Cold, by the way, Florida shooting. Nothing from the field. They've hit in almost a 4.5 minutes, 0 of 5.
It'll be tough to get by Chiosa. Tough shot.
It was on the fly. Stone comes up with the miss by Terrence Davis. And now Chiosa.
And they're pushing out again.
They sure
Look at this blow by.
Oh, it was right to the rack.
And what a great job with the screen. I mean, really a heads-up play by Hayes. Turned his guy, gave the entree.
And you don't want to change your style if you're the Rebels because the aggressive style is what got you on top in the first place.
Well, the last trip was a good. They got a decent shot in that lane.
With a drive here by Burnett, another turnover.
Look at the look again.
Florida. Pulichov 3. And that could have tied it. Yep. And it's picked up inside by Davis.
Chiosa is so trusting, though, isn't he?
Very much so.
Oh, gave that open opportunity.
9 and 7 Ole Miss, 12 and 4 Florida. Gators unbeaten in conference play. 2 and 2 in the SEC. The Rebels. 3. Chiosa trying to get the ball. Stone had it, shoved on the play.
I think Hyman on
Hyman with the foul. It
yeah.
sure was. Hyman picked it up for the Rebels.
This is just a kid who really understands the game. Now look at Hayes lock his guy and give Chiosa that open opportunity. Just terrific play.
And reminiscent of what he did in Columbia against Missouri a week ago. Last-second steal and then a layup to win it for the Gators on the road against the Missouri Tigers.
He's a gamer, and when you've got a good program guy step up and make plays, and he's one of those.
Stone's career high in free throw attempts was 5. Today, he is 12 of 16, so he's blown that out of the water.
Look at it. It's amazing the free throws.
I know. And they're a great, as we mentioned before, Florida, a great free throw shooting team. Number 1 in the conference, but Stone is not one of the top 3 guys in that category. Burnett.
Look at Chiosa ragging. Look at the
Davis. I know, yeah, Crawford. Stone comes out on him. We're approaching 2 to play.
Under 10 now. Got to make some move.
Pulichov tries to defend a scoop and a foul.
Pulichov, I think, he got the foul on that one. A little disadvantage.
How about last week, Chiosa? The steal, the drive, and a 1/10 of a second was on the clock, and he puts it in and gave the Gators a 2-point win moments ago.
Similar? Because he didn't have anybody in front of him on that steal. Right. What a great job jumping the passing lane. And that time, I just am amazed at this kid. The more you see him live, it's even better.
Burnett at the stripe, who is a career 86% free throw shooter. I guess you get a little blood here, so they're going to rule will be in effect, and they'll tape him up and try to make sure that it does not cause any issue. The road to the Final Four continues on CBS Sports Network with back-to-back top 25 action. It starts Tuesday. Cincinnati will take on UCF at 7 Eastern. Then Xavier and Trayvon Blewett will take on St. John's Wednesday. That's on CBS Sports Network. Ole Miss from the free throw line, Bill. 18 of 20.
And Blewett's one of those big-time performers. Great jump shot. Good off the bounce. Talented guy. Xavier's got a great program. Didn't play well, or Villanova played super the other night.
Jalen Hudson will drive and try to force the issue. That's an offensive foul on Hudson.
A little too deep.
Nice play by Tyree to take it.
They do have guys who want to step up and make plays, but a little bang-banger. I do think he got there, though.
Hudson's got 5 fouls.
Interesting.
Hudson has got 5. So their leading scorer now is out of the cards for Mike White.
You know, when he got, I thought the second look, I thought he was into his move before the feet were set.
Yeah.
Those are bang-bangers. You're disappointed and disgusted when you don't get it your way.
Well, walk us through it again then here.
Let's take a look at it. Jalen Hudson, one of those guys.
He averages 16. He has 9.
I was just thinking 9 points. We're going to see this. He's got to be here and set. And this is what makes officiating tough. How about that?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think you called it.
Yeah.
I think you called it is what I think.
Yeah, he's starting into that move. Yeah. But now you got to get back the other end and do a job. I'm just going to check and see if he's within the restraining area, which they can do.
Absolutely. Florida Gators come in having won 6 consecutive games. 7 of 8.
His heels were up in the air.
But that goes to show you're watching it in one replay, slow-mo after another. And you know, right, these guys, you call bang, bang. That's the way these officials refer to it. Regular speed, you've got to make this call.
At home, you're going to make your own call here.
Right. That is so tight.
Wow. Same play.
His heels were up, you're right,
Yeah,
Bill.
they're up.
Yeah, you called it. Good call on that.
Interesting. You're not on the line, you're over it.
But you're not on it.
Yeah.
You're not on it. It's like being over the out of bounds. You're not. You're not
until
on
you
the
touch it.
Right, exactly.
I'll tell you, Mike White's got great composure watching these games, too. He just coaches his teams.
Chris Henson is our director today, and Craig Silver is our producer. Craig is the lead producer for the SEC on CBS, so these are familiar places for him, Oxford and otherwise, and they have great shots with our terrific crew here in Mississippi this afternoon.
I do understand him taking this long. This is really
I agree. It's a big
crucial
play.
His feet are above it, or his heels are above it. They can't change the call.
Nope.
They had the charge.
But they can rule on the feet.
They can rule that on the feet. Correct. Not only changing Hudson with his foul difficulties.
For Ole Miss this year, it's been uneven, as we've talked about. Bill, they've used 9 different starting lineups. Andy Kennedy trying to find the right mixture. They're one of 8 teams nationwide that has gone that way. They have more depth, so they have that flexibility, but I mean, that's a lot of different changes to your starting 5.
But there's so many similarities between the perimeter people, though, Kev.
Right.
You know, there's you guys can do similar things, whether it's on the deck or it's free, and you're just hoping to get things turned around and maybe strike it rich where you see some guys who really play well together.
So what they're ruling on, Bill, are the feet outside the protected.
Right, exactly. That's the only thing. They can't change the ruling, the call.
And the fact is, they're thorough.
Hold on, we're going to get Doug's going to.
I don't know.
That's our cylinder rule that we talked about before. And Doug is saying,
I don't think
it's not on the line, which is something this is really interesting. It's straight up to the ceiling, much like a goaltending or basket interference. Wow.
And look how long it took them as a trio to come up with that ruling and realize that's a correct call. Now, here we have Jalen Hudson
What a change. Stays in the game.
Now he stays in the game.
Right.
Exactly. Just hit the free throw. So now he's got 10, and he brings the Gators to within 3.
Doug's positive of the call.
Yes, he is. 2-point game. And like you said, Hudson remains huge.
Yep, you got to rely on your D now. And he's got to be patient. He loves to turn the corner and liable to charge if he's not under control. Little pop out and a lock low.
Davis and inside now they go to Stevens.
Good call off the bench again. I thought he may have walked too, but he got his turn.
Stevens averages 9. He's got 22 this afternoon for Ole Miss, leading by 4. Almost a knockaway. Chiozza got the screen, the switch on defense.
He's got what he wants now.
Against Stevens, and here he goes. The blow by, but he can't get it to go.
Well, they're going to have to look at it. They're going to have to check. Florida wants him to check.
And they call the timeout. They want to get the officiating crew. Yes, exactly. Good use of a timeout there for Florida. Down by 4. Little over a minute to go on CBS. Well, here we are with 1:03 to play in this very important midseason SEC game. And the last play being reviewed right now by the officials.
So you want to be a referee, huh? Chiozza normally finishes this particular play, and it doesn't hit the rim.
It does not.
We're just seeing who it's out off. It looks like Florida there. And just check
in Stone,
the rear.
right, maybe?
Yeah.
No, I'll take that back. I think it is off of Hayes.
In the front,
yeah. Hayes.
Yeah. The only other thing I guess they're not going back.
Now they're checking the earlier basket, we're told.
They passed on it, though. It looks like this is the one. I thought he may have walked on this particular play, and I think he did. He got away with it, but that big wide body having maybe the game of his career. And Andy needed something like this in terms of a favorable outcome. Timeout's important as you come down now.
It is indeed. It was 30-18 Ole Miss since 52-44 Florida.
Now the big thing here, Henry likes to get going real quick. He's got to be under control so he doesn't look at this. Oh, a 3. Chiozza, I thought he should have gone to the rim.
Oh, the dive inside by Stone.
Now they're going to call it.
That's an offensive foul. Wipe it away.
Yeah. How about this play? Chiozza, smart though. I guess he saw 2 white shirts, figured, why not? Boy, big time defensive maneuver. How about that?
Big one by Crawford.
Yeah, making up a play. He's had a great game too.
Some full court here now. And they get it out.
Don't let him speed you up now. You've got time on your side. And a quick give. Oh, Chiozza got hurt too. I think a little shortness of breath, so to speak. And he just really gives this one away. Tyree did a good job being sound over the half court. You're in control. You don't need anything in a hurry.
First trip to the free throw line this afternoon for Brian Tyree. 67% free throw shooting.
Got Hudson back in, you know his offensive abilities. Hayes out, so it's going to be a perimeter game. This doesn't necessarily mean a 3 or a 2, but anything, and this club goes to the rim so well, they have that option frequently.
Look how small the floor is right now.
Yeah, it is. It's all guards. It's lunchtime.
Yes. Digging it out. They've got it. Saved by Davis. Reloading. 5-point lead, Ole Miss.
Giving it.
And then Hudson leaning in. And now he is gone. His 5th. Down by 8 with about 13 to play. Ole Miss coming back now by 5. And the leading scorer of the Gators has just fouled out of the game.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier a couple of games where Florida's had that lead and succumbed. But you can get a lot of things done when you're hustling, paying attention to details, being unselfish.
Tyree is at the line. He's got 1 point. He is 0 of 6 from the floor. And his point, obviously, has come from the line. And Tyree averages 10 a game.
Well, they play Mississippi State here. And Mississippi State was in control of the game. They don't give up, these kids.
Ranked Mississippi State, yeah.
Exactly.
Biggest lead right now of the afternoon goes to Ole Miss at 6. 40 seconds to go.
Quick push, get to the rim.
No waste of time here. Chiosa dancing on top.
Misuse of the ball.
Hyman initially met him with the defense. They tie it up. It will be Florida's ball.
Now this kid so sound with the basketball, doesn't turn it over, often crosses in front, exposes a little bit. Fortunately, they get it back.
And Chiosa will inbound. And in front of him is Tyree. Stone.
Good defense here, making them use clock, keeping them out in the perimeter.
Chiosa outside. Here's a three. Allen, no. Big rebound. Huge rebound by Terrence Davis, but it hits the underneath. Kulichov has got the ball into Davis. No!
Look at these kids compete, though.
Wow. Okoro three. No! Chiosa, no! Inside Stone, yes! 6 seconds to play. One stab at it after another.
And the competition at the rim, just beautiful to watch. Quick timeout by Florida. Nobody gave up on this one, unable to convert. The frantic pace at the end. Woo! It's been a pleasure to be in Oxford. Archie and the gang.
Okay, 5-point game, Bill. We're going to see some pressure,
Yeah,
I think, by the Florida D, right?
Very good. Big on the ball. See if they get a 5-second call denied. They're fronting everybody. And they got the perfect trap. They're just holding it.
2.9
Not much you
now.
can do. Yeah,
right. Exactly.
History.
Well, 8 of the 9 wins for the Rebels have happened here in this building. It looks like 9 of the 10 now. They'll go over 500 in the SEC. They'll go 3 games overall over 500. And Bill, with the critics very loud about Andy Kennedy in this program, an uneven season in particular this year. It looks like they're going to win their 4th in the last 6, and they do it against a quality opponent. So this serves them well down the road.
You know, it's a 9-20 win seasons here.
Yeah.
And it's not like they've walked in here and taken away the Rebels' home court advantage over the years. So you're going to have times, particularly in this league, and the league has gotten better and stronger, and it's going to put some demands on not only Andy, but other people to come up with players. But this is proof that he knows exactly what he's doing, what they can accomplish if they make plays at the end of the game, playing a total involvement against a terrific basketball team.
By the way, Florida just 1 field goal in the last 7 minutes. That is what got them. They went 1 of 8.
And a lot of it's great defense by Andy and his gang.
Big time win for the Rebels.
Going home smiling today.
They sure are. A game they needed, one of the biggest they had circled, and they get it against the Florida Gators. Rebels win it by 6. They led by as many as 7. They trailed by as many as 8 in the second half. The Gators will go to 12-5. First loss in conference play. Now at 4-1 in the SEC. Bill, enjoyed it as always.
Always a pleasure. Because the road you learn from, so I know Florida will.
For Bill Raftery, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Oxford, Mississippi. Coming up inside college basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports. We'll take you to our CBS studios in New York with Adam Zucker right after this.